The hardest part of the journey isn't starting. Starting feels exciting. Starting feels hopeful. Starting feels like momentum. The real challenge is continuing when the results feel slow. When you're doing everything you know how to do. You're working hard, you're staying disciplined, and you're showing up every day. Yet the distance between where you are and where you're trying to go barely seems to move. If you're a Scar's son, you understand that tension. Responsibility doesn't slow down just because progress does. Bills are still showing up, the expectations are still knocking on your door, and people are still counting on you. And that pressure can start whispering things that shake your confidence. Maybe it's not working. Maybe you're wasting your time. Maybe you should just stop. But what if slow progress isn't failure? What if it's formation? That's what we're unpacking today. Welcome to the Scarred Sons podcast, where we dive into scars of life and the outcomes they shape. This podcast is a space for honest conversations about my journey, the lessons learned, the struggles endured, and the growth that followed, geared towards helping other sons with scars. We'll explore topics like personal development, mental and spiritual health, and the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's navigate these challenges together, one story at a time. Let's dive in. The views expressed on this podcast are based on my personal experiences and insights. I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Please consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific needs. I am not responsible for any decisions or outcomes resulting from the use of this content. What's up to all my Scar Sons out there? I'm your host, Ty. Before we dive in, I want you to know this is a safe space. I'm not here as someone who has it all figured out, just a man willing to speak his truth. And if you carry scars, welcome home. People celebrate results, promotions, business wins, recognition, breakthrough moments. What rarely gets talked about is the season before those things happen. The quiet grind, early mornings, late nights, long stretches of effort where nothing seems to change. Progress doesn't always show up in obvious ways. The truth is, progress doesn't always look impressive. At times, it simply looks like still trying, still showing up, still believing the work will eventually matter. For men carrying responsibility, slow progress feels heavier. You're not just chasing a dream. You're trying to build stability, trying to provide, trying to protect the people dependent on you. And when results move slowly, it can feel like you're letting people down. Even when you're giving everything you have, the pressure can make you question yourself, question the process, question whether the effort will eventually pay off. This lesson has been very real in my life lately. I'm balancing a full-time job, trying to build a commercial cleaning business, and trying to grow the Scar Sons platform. And there are days when it feels like I'm pouring everything I have into the work. Energy, focus, late nights, early mornings. Yet the results don't always move as quickly as the effort. And when that happens, your mind starts doing something dangerous. It starts measuring the distance between where you are and where you hope you would be by now. You start wondering if you're behind, wondering if you're missing something, wondering if all the effort will eventually make sense. And in those moments, the real test isn't discipline, it's belief. Belief that the work you're doing today is building something you just can't see yet. And if you've ever found yourself in that space where the effort is real, but the results feel quiet, trust me, you're not alone. Honestly, that's what prompted me to record this episode. It was the feeling I got only last week, just feeling overwhelmed to the point where I got outside of myself and started measuring, started going back in my mind. It's like, man, how long do I have to do this before I get this result that I'm looking for? How many more nights do I have to stay up late? How many more mornings do I have to get up early? How much more time I got to put into this grind? But honestly, when I take a couple steps back, I'm building. I'm building endurance. I'm building momentum. I'm building something bigger than me. And in those moments, I'm able to reset a little bit. I'm able to pep talk myself. I'm able to give myself a little bit more fuel just to get through that one day. And I just focus on that one day. I feel like this is a good moment to pause. I feel like this is a good time so that we can go ahead and jump into the mirror moment for this week. The mirror moment is a space where we slow down and we take an honest look at the man in the mirror. No distractions, no pressure, just reflection. Ask yourself this: are you frustrated because nothing is happening, or because the results aren't happening as fast as you hoped they would? And if the progress feels slow, does that mean the work isn't working? Or could it mean the foundation is still being built? Strong things usually take time to grow. I mean, think about it. The best foundations aren't put together overnight. Thank you for listening to this week's Mirror Moment. Let's get back to the episode. I believe deeply in faith, but faith doesn't erase frustration. There are moments when you're praying while still wondering, trusting while still questioning. That tension is very real. Faith doesn't always make the road easier. At times, it simply gives you the strength to keep walking when the destination isn't visible yet. There's a few verses that help ground me when I'm in seasons like this. One of them is Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 in the NLT. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Another one that reminds me to stay steady is James chapter 1, verse 12. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love. And one last verse that reminds me to stay grounded is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16. Again, in the NLT. The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. I'll just say that one more time. The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Verses like that remind me that falling behind, feeling tired, or even questioning the process doesn't mean you're failing. It may just mean you're still in the middle of the work. When progress feels slow, I've been practicing a few things that I want to share with you. First, I remind myself that consistency compounds. Not every day shows results, but every day builds something. Second, I'm learning to separate my value from the speed of my progress. Slow progress doesn't mean failure. In many cases, it simply means you're early. And third, I'm learning to respect the process. Rushing through usually damages the foundation. Steady effort builds something that lasts. It's funny, I was on my 9 to 5 and I ran into a customer that his business is growing. I kind of always use this phrase, and I probably should stop, but I say this a lot to some people, and I really do mean it because I admire their process, or I admire their growth, and I admire where they become, which is simply this. It's like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like you one day. Just to kind of boost their confidence. Not to boost their confidence, but just to kind of say, man, I really admire what you're doing. And he responded to me as if he understood where I was coming from. But he simply said, hey, man, it's just a little by a little. I'm like, man, that's it. That's exactly what I needed to hear. A little by a little. Meaning don't stop. Just keep putting up your shots. Just keep practicing. Keep taking swings. Don't let anything just stop you and just shut you down. Stay in the game. If you need to take a breath, come out for a minute, but get back in there. A little by a little, over time, does exactly the 3 things I just mentioned. It compounds consistency. It separates your value from the speed of the progress. And again, steady effort builds something that lasts. I thought I mentioned that because that's a real life thing that literally just happened on Thursday of last week. So just remember, a little by little. If you're in a season where you're doing everything you know how to do and the results still feel slow, hear this clearly. Slow progress is still movement, and movement still matters. I'm really not trying to beat the dead horse, but again, a little by a little over time. The men who become the strongest are often the ones who learn how to endure the longest. Not every chapter of the journey feels exciting. Some chapters feel repetitive. Some feel quiet. I made the mistake time and time again in my past of getting bored with an idea. Could have been the best idea. I could have been in several different other situations. But guess what? I gave up. I stopped. I started a clothing brand. I ended a clothing brand. Started a cleaning business. I ended a cleaning business. I started clothing again and ended clothing again. I didn't see the result. And no matter how many people told me what I was doing was dope, I didn't believe it myself. And so when I don't believe it, how can I achieve it? Impossible. The minute it gets uncomfortable, the minute I don't get a like or I don't get a comment or I don't get a praise, I immediately think, oh, this ain't it. I tried. Time to find something else. Just trying to find that feeling again of like, I'm excited. Like, oh, this is the thing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. When I could have been doing what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. I just didn't endure the storms that came along the journey. Some others may feel like you're walking forward without knowing if anyone notices. Yet the work you're doing today may be preparing something bigger than you can see right now. So if you're in a slow season, don't confuse slow with stuck, and don't confuse quiet with failure. Keep building, keep showing up, keep believing your story isn't finished yet. The results may feel slow right now, but the man you're becoming in this process will be ready when the moment arrives. I want to share one last thing with you before I let you go, and before I got to get out of here. I'm in sales for my 9 to 5. I started in this role that I'm in right now back in 2023, June the 12th. I stutter and hesitate because I started June the 12th, June the 14th. That's when I lost my son. Sorry for the pause. It's funny how I don't tie what I do for someone else or what I do for another company or another entity, how I don't realize that I'm still the same person achieving the goal. So I'm gonna tie this in, bear with me. When I first started in that position, sales weren't all that great. And it took me about 4 to 6 months to ramp up to start hitting my budget numbers. But in that 4 to 6 months, I'm like, man, what did I sign up for? Even though I had done this job before, just with another entity. I didn't believe in myself in some of those days, but I kept going to work the next day. I kept making the phone calls, kept getting told no, kept getting people that knew me, just didn't believe in the new situation. And as I look back on it, I never allowed myself to stop. I never allowed myself to quit. I continued going to work. I continued making the calls. I continued reaching out. My persistence game was crazy and still is. I'm looking at this and I'm like, you stopped so many things that only took the one thing that you're using for your 9 to 5 that works. And I don't think I ever tied the two together. It's like that persistence, that hunger, that dog in you that you just keep going even though people keep telling you no. What is the reason why you can't take that and put it in some of the things that you do for yourself? Like, what is the difference here? And I realized in real time right now while I'm going through this with you is that I can believe in my ability under someone else, but it's difficult when you're alone. I don't really know if that's what it is, but that's just the reality of the situation. As I grow, as I keep on my journey path and my therapy path, and again, little by little path, I'm starting to notice that's what's bringing this awareness to me. I'm starting to see like, yo, you already doing this and you've done it and you're very capable. You just need to step into it in a different light. So if you're hearing this and you just crushing your 9 to 5 and you know that thing like the back of your hand, but you got some things, you maybe have an entrepreneurial spirit in you that you want to take a leap of faith, You don't have to take the leap without the security. Dibble and dabble, a little by a little. Sorry, I done said that 16 times, but I'm trying to not only pin it in my own mind, but I'm trying to pin it in yours too. Let's just do this thing a little by a little so it's not so scary, but we can keep the momentum going. And when it's time to do your thing, do your thing. I appreciate you for coming back and listening to this episode. Thank you for rocking with me for 17 weeks straight. I will definitely be here again next Sunday, Lord willing, at 8 a.m. Peace and love. Thank you for joining me on the Scarred Sons podcast. Remember, every scar tells a story, and every story has the power to inspire growth. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to reach out and share your journey. Don't forget to stay up to date with the podcast by liking, commenting, and subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at scarred.sons for more content and updates. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep healing, and remember, scars don't define you, they shape you. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.